Can I ask you something personal? Have you ever walked into a room, a restaurant, a family gathering, an outdoor event, and there she was? That one woman. You couldn't stop looking at her. Not because she was loud. Not because she was showing everything she had. Not because she was wearing anything you could immediately put your finger on. But because she looked expensive, polished, like money without even trying. Like she had access to some information the rest of the room simply didn't have. And here is the part that is going to genuinely surprise you. She was probably not wearing a single designer label. So what was it? What was she doing or not doing that created that feeling in everyone around her? Today on Glamour Ease, we are answering that question completely. We are breaking down the exact 7 visual codes that make a woman look expensive in the summer heat. Not expensive as in rich, expensive as in refined, intentional. The kind of woman who understands something about elegance that most people have never been taught. And I promise you, by the time this video is done, you will never look at your wardrobe, your accessories, or your mirror the same way again. Stay with me until code number 7. Because that one is the code that makes the single biggest visual difference. And you can use it starting the very next time you get dressed. Welcome to Glamour Ease, where we believe that elegance is not purchased. It is understood. Hit that subscribe button right now and tap the notification bell because this is what we do here every single week. And if you are watching this with a girlfriend right now, tag her in the comments, because she needs every single one of these codes too. Let's get into it. Code number 1, the fabric that changes everything. I want you to picture something very specific. You walk into a store and you see 2 white linen shirts hanging side by side. Same color, same cut, same basic silhouette. One is $50. The other is $150. You reach for the cheaper one because that makes complete financial sense. You are being smart, right? Fast forward 2 hours. That $50 shirt is wilting on your body, creasing in all the wrong places, pulling at the seams, looking like you slept in it and then decided to go out anyway. Meanwhile, the woman who spent a little more, still impeccable. Not a single wrinkle out of place. Kike still draped the way it was when she put it on that morning. The difference has a name, and the name is fabric weight. Women who consistently look expensive in the heat wear linen between 200 and 250 grams per square meter. Heavier, more structured. It drapes on the body in a way that cheaper, lighter fabric simply cannot replicate. Egyptian cotton, heavyweight linen, raw silk. These fabrics breathe beautifully, resist the effects of sweat and heat, and hold their shape throughout the entire day without any effort from you. Now here's the part of this conversation that I know is going to make some of you uncomfortable, and I want you to really sit with it. Buying cheap fabrics every single season is actually costing you more money than buying quality ones. Think about it. That $50 shirt you replaced 3 times this summer? You have already spent $150, and you still don't look as good as the woman who bought the one quality piece in January and has worn it flawlessly ever since. Quality is not an indulgence. Quality is a strategy. Drop your honest thoughts in the comments right now. Do you agree or disagree with that? Because I think this is going to start a very real conversation, and I am here for every word of it. Code number 2, the white that is not actually white. This is the code that nobody ever talks about. And it is where so many beautiful, stylish, well-intentioned women go quietly wrong without ever understanding why something isn't working. You put together an all-white look. White pants, white blouse, white sandals. So you look in the mirror and something feels flat, almost like a uniform. Like you work somewhere rather than like you own somewhere. And you cannot put your finger on why. Here is why. Elegant women never wear flat matching identical white. What they do instead, whether they learned it or discovered it instinctively, is wear 3 different shades of white in the same outfit. Optical white linen pants, off-white creamy silk tank top, nude sand-colored sandals, that warm light beige that is almost white but carries just enough warmth to be something more. Suddenly your look has layers, dimension. A quiet visual complexity that the eye finds deeply satisfying without being able to explain why. Next time you are at an elegant event, look carefully at the women who command effortless attention. Even when they appear to be wearing a single color, there are almost always subtle shade variations happening throughout the look. That is never an accident, that is a code. And the most beautiful part? Those 3 white tones against melanin-rich skin create a contrast and warmth that is genuinely extraordinary. We have a natural advantage here that most women are not using. Have you ever tried layering different shades of white? Did it work for you? Drop your experience in the comments because I want to hear from you. Code number 3, the strategic skin rule. It is 95 degrees. You want to be cool. You want to be comfortable. So you put on short shorts and a strapless top. Nothing wrong with that choice. Nothing wrong with being comfortable in the heat. But if you want to look expensive, if you want to be the woman people are still talking about when they get home, that combination is quietly working against you. And here is the truth that most women have never been told directly. Elegance in the heat is not about showing skin. It is about showing skin with intention. The rule is beautifully simple. Pick one area only. Shoulders or neckline or legs or your back. Reveal that one area beautifully, celebrate it, and cover the rest with quality fabric. Picture 2 women at an outdoor summer wedding. One has visible cleavage, bare legs, and open shoulders all simultaneously. The other is in a long, fluid midi dress with just one subtle back cutout. One perfect reveal, everything else covered. Who do you think people are still talking about when they get home that evening? The woman who reveals everything gives the eye nowhere to rest. It takes everything in at once and moves on. But the woman who reveals one perfect thing, she stays in your memory. She creates curiosity. She creates presence. A long dress with a side slit? Expensive. That same slit on a short dress? Immediately looks casual. The length and the single reveal working together is what creates the magic. Our grandmothers understood this completely, even if they never had the words for it. That wisdom was stitched into how they dressed for every important occasion. We are just giving it a name today. Tell me in the comments, which is your preferred reveal? Shoulders, neckline, legs, or back? And has this rule changed how you think about summer dressing? I genuinely want to know. Code number 4, invisible shoes. This one is going to feel counterintuitive at first, and then it is going to feel like the most obvious thing you have ever heard. Flashy shoes steal the entire outfit. In summer, this gets significantly worse because the temptation is everywhere. Sandals with multiple straps, buckles, colors, embellishments, all competing for attention simultaneously. And what happens? Your entire carefully assembled look gets completely lost. The eye gets pulled downward and stuck, and your outfit stops working. Women who consistently look expensive in summer do the exact opposite. They wear shoes that almost disappear. Smooth leather mules, minimalist slides, clean flat sandals with absolutely no extra detailing. Shoes that say almost nothing. So that everything else gets to say everything. Here is the psychology of why this works so powerfully. When the shoe is understated, the eye travels up. It takes in the full look, the fabric, the proportions, the accessories, the hair, the face, the whole woman. When the shoe is loud, the gaze gets stuck at the feet, and the feet are genuinely the last place you want anyone's attention to stop. Pair those simple understated shoes with a clean pedicure, neat nails, and either a neutral polish or a classic deep red. That finishing touch is an instant upgrade that costs almost nothing and elevates the entire look dramatically. Drop a comment and tell me, are you a minimal shoe woman or do you love an embellished sandal? Because I have a feeling this code is going to divide the community and I am very interested in hearing both sides. Code number 5, the wrong kind of shine. Have you ever seen a woman with absolutely everything going right in her outfit? The cut, the color, the fit. And something still felt slightly off? Something you couldn't immediately name? 9 times out of 10, it is the accessories. Here is something that most women never think about. Under direct summer sunlight, very shiny mirror-like metals look like costume jewelry. Even if they are completely real. Even if they are genuinely expensive. The harsh direct sun hits that highly polished bright surface and gives off an artificial glitter that reads as cheap immediately. Your eye knows it even when your brain doesn't. Elegant women in the heat make a different choice. They choose matte metals, brushed gold, oxidized silver, matte bronze. These finishes still read as genuinely precious and high quality. But they don't compete with the sun. They absorb light rather than fighting it. And the result is jewelry that looks quietly expensive rather than loudly imitation. And here's the second rule that goes with this. Pick one metal and commit to it completely. Gold earrings, gold bracelet, gold watch, all gold, or all silver. Never both together in summer sunlight. Mixing metals reads as confused rather than creative, and it quietly undermines everything else you have done right. And always, always, wear earrings. Even just a small discreet hoop. Earrings frame the face, pull the entire look upward, and give your outfit a finished, intentional quality that no other accessory can replicate. An outfit without earrings is a sentence without a full stop. Tell me in the comments, are you a gold woman or a silver woman? And has summer sunlight ever ruined the look of your jewelry? Because I think more of us have experienced this than we realize. Code number 6, intentionally wet hair now. This is the most controversial code of all. And I want your honest opinion in the comments when we are done. It is hot. Your hair starts to frizz. You are over it. You pull it up quickly into a bun because it is the only option you have left. And it looks exactly like that. Like a woman who got hot and gave up. Like a woman who ran out of choices. Elegant women handle this exact same situation completely differently. What professional stylists call the controlled wet look. An ultra-sleek low bun held perfectly smooth with gel or a good mousse. Or a slicked-back ponytail with a clean, sharp center part. Hair that looks intentionally styled rather than hastily abandoned. Hair that says, I chose this, not, I had no other options. And that single word, intentional, is everything in this conversation. When your hair is pulled back deliberately and controlled, the message to every person who sees you is clear. I chose this look. I made a decision this morning. When it is frizzy and inconsistent and clearly reactive to the heat, the message is equally clear. I ran out of options and this is what was left. Same temperature outside. Same amount of effort. Completely different perception. Completely different impression. Finish with a small amount of hair oil on the ends for that polished, intentional wet look shine, and suddenly you are not a woman suffering in the summer heat. You are a woman who is elegantly cool. There's a massive difference between those two things, and everyone in the room can feel it. Now, here's the question I really want us to sit with together. And I want real, honest answers in the comments. Do you think the standard of what looks elegant has always been fair to Black women and our natural hair textures? Do these codes feel inclusive of who we actually are? Talk to me. I read every single comment, and this conversation matters. Code number 7. The invisible third piece. I saved this one for last, deliberately, because this is the code that makes the single biggest immediate visual difference, starting the very next time you get dressed. And it is the one that most women never think about. Even in extreme summer heat, even when it is genuinely uncomfortable outside, women who look expensive are almost always wearing 3 pieces, not 2. 3. Before you close this video, hear me out completely. The third piece has 2 non-negotiable requirements. It must be lighter than everything else in the outfit, and it must have movement. You are wearing a simple slip dress, beautiful on its own but feeling somehow unfinished. Drape a long ultralight linen kimono over it. It weighs almost nothing. It flows when you walk. It creates movement and dimension and visual complexity without adding a single degree of heat to your body. In fact, it creates airflow. You're actually cooler with it than without it. You just also happen to look significantly more expensive. Or you are wearing a tank top and tailored shorts. Simple. Clean. But 2 pieces. Now throw an oversized open linen shirt over it, draped loosely on the shoulders. Not worn through the sleeves, just draped. Instantly, the whole look is elevated. Instantly, it communicates. I styled this. I made decisions. Or a midi dress with a light-structured vest as the third piece. 3 layers, 3 dimensions. Complete intentionality. Here is what that third piece communicates that 2 pieces simply cannot. It tells everyone who sees you that you styled this look, that you thought about it, that you made deliberate decisions, And that deliberateness, that evidence of intention, is what elegance communicates above everything else. It is not the label. It is not the price. It is the evidence of thought. Test this code the very next time you have somewhere important to be. And then come back to this video and tell me in the comments what happened. I want to hear every detail. Now let's bring all 7 codes together. Quality fabric that drapes beautifully even after hours in the heat. Layered shades of white creating quiet dimension that the eye loves without knowing why. Skin revealed with complete purpose. One area only, chosen deliberately. Understated shoes that let the whole woman be seen and appreciated. Matte metals that whisper quality rather than compete with the sun. Controlled intentional hair that says clearly, I chose this, and that light flowing third piece that adds a layer of elegance to everything underneath it. No designer labels. No expensive shopping trips. No complete wardrobe overhaul. Just strategy. Just knowledge. Just the codes. And here is what happens when you put all 7 together and walk into a room. Oh, people will feel something when they see you, even if they cannot explain what it is or why. The waiter will be more attentive. Your friends will ask where you got your pieces. The colleague who always has a comment about what you're wearing will go very, very quiet. Because you will look expensive. Naturally. Effortlessly. Completely unapologetically. Not because you spent more, because you understood more. Now, I want real answers in the comments today. Which of these 7 codes were you already using without knowing it had a name? Which one genuinely surprised you? Which one are you implementing the very next time you get dressed? And which code do you think is the most powerful of all 7? Because I have my own answer and I want to see if it matches yours. If this video gave you something valuable today, a new perspective, a new strategy, a new excitement about getting dressed, please hit that like button and share it with every woman in your life who deserves to hear this. Because this information changes things. Subscribe to Glamour Ease and turn on your notifications because we are here every single week with conversations and content that celebrate exactly who you are. And tell me where in the world you are watching from. Your city, your country, because this community is beautifully global and I am so deeply grateful for every single one of you showing up here. You are elegant. You are sophisticated. You have always had this. You just needed the codes. Until next time, stay glamorous, stay radiant, and keep reminding this world that Black women don't just dress. We define what elegance looks like. See you in the next video.